Welcome. We are going to be talking about BBL lawsuits, Blac Chyna removing her fillers, cheeks, butts, and we're actually going to be looking at a surgeon who, after doing 7 BBLs in one day with the 7 person he worked on actually dying. Yeah. Let's first head over to Brazilian butt lifts. I want to talk to you about this doctor first. Oh, they've got the whole picture here. Let me pull that up so you guys can see that. This was the doctor that worked on 7 patients in one day. I want to scroll down through this. They did an investigation on this. There was a complaint. It says he started operating on patients at 6:32 in the morning. And for the patient who passed away, he started at 8:31 p.m. Just imagine. He started at 6, was still working at 8. You're talking about a 14-hour workday. You definitely don't want to be patient 5, 6, and 7. Somebody's tired. We get tired at that point. They continue on a different article saying it's believed fatigue may have contributed to the death of a 33-year-old woman who died after undergoing a BBL procedure at the hands of Dr. John Sampson last summer. An administrative complaint says he began operating at 6:32 and, like I said, 8:31. But let's go over to this complaint. We're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to go see what Blac Chyna has to say, what she's been doing, the changes that she has made, and maybe that will prompt some people to reconsider getting this surgery. So I'm going to go directly to this page in the complaint. This is actually page 22. It starts here. This is like the whole final order and everything, but we aren't going to go through all of that. I really just want to go into the details of what happened in this particular instance. So we'll scroll back through wherever it was that I was, and there were some other things that this doctor had going on. But we're going to start here with this one. It says on June 16th, 2021, respondent, this is a doctor, performed at least 7 surgical procedures at Seduction. This is where it was taking place, beginning at or around 6:32 a.m. On the evening of June 16th, 2021, patient ER, a 33-year-old woman, presented to respondent at Seduction to receive liposuction with gluteal fat transfer, or as we all know, it's called a Brazilian butt lift or BBL. This was respondent, the doctor's 7th procedure in the day. Can you imagine that? On or about June 15th or 16th, 2021, respondent signed a post-anesthesia record form indicating that the patient was medically stable, cleared, and ready for discharge. Patient ER was not medically stable, cleared, and or ready for discharge at the time that respondent signed this attestation. Respondent performed a BBL on patient ER. The procedure began at or around 8:31 p.m. While harvesting the fat, respondent failed to maintain appropriate control of his cannula, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, and or failed to maintain knowledge of the location of the cannula tip within patient ER's anatomy, resulting in his failure to keep the tip in the subcutaneous portion of patient ER's abdomen and or flanks. So he lost control of this thing, and it was not where it was supposed to be. Respondent perforated or injured patient ER's abdominal wall 1 or more times and punctured or injured her liver, bladder, and or intestines. The minimum prevailing standard of care requires physicians to maintain appropriate control of their cannula, maintain knowledge of the location of the tip, and only keep it in the subcutaneous layer of fat. It says while injecting fat into patient ER's gluteal area, respondent failed to maintain appropriate control, failed to maintain knowledge of the location of the tip within patient ER's anatomy. During the procedure, respondent repeatedly inserted a cannula into and or through patient ER's gluteal fascia. During the procedure, respondent repeatedly injected fat into and or under patient ER's gluteal muscles. During the procedure, respondent injected fat into patient ER's deep gluteal planes. The minimum prevailing standard of care requires physicians to not cross the gluteal fascia during a gluteal fat grafting procedure. It says it requires physicians to not inject fat into or under the gluteal muscles during a gluteal fat grafting procedure. At or around 10:50 p.m., patient ER experienced cardiac arrest. Patient ER died. And then they have that the cause of death was determined to be pulmonary fat emboli and hemperitoneum due to liposuction and bilateral gluteal augmentation surgery. So, and then these were the counts that they had against him, basically medical malpractice based on all of these things that he did wrong. So that's what you have there, this sort of listing of this doctor, a few things there. You know, it's likely, as it stated in the article from the news media, that he was tired. Like, who is going to be able to continue working that many hours? And if you're the patient, I don't want to speak ill of the patient, but really and truly, 8:31 at night, let me tell you, when I was supposed to have a cesarean for my daughter and I had to have anesthesia, the anesthesiologist, I had to be at the hospital at around 7:30 that evening. The anesthesiologist came in and said, "I'm not doing it. I'm tired." And my doctor was a little upset because she was ready at that time and she had other commitments the next day. She wasn't going to be able to do it. But, she was a little concerned there with him coming in and saying that. Me, I was totally fine. I'm like, "Oh, you're too tired? Oh, yes, we can leave. I can come back tomorrow. I'm good with that. I'm not upset at all. Doesn't bother me a bit. I wasn't planning on doing very much tomorrow anyway." I don't want someone who is supposed to be giving me anesthesia giving it to me when they're tired. It was 7:30. So I'm just thinking back to my own practical experience here. And here she is going in for a BBL at 8:30 at night, and this physician, this surgeon has been working since 6:30 a.m. that morning. Florida tried to put some limits on this, and they tried to come up with something saying, "Hey, we're going to limit this to 3 surgeries a day." But apparently they got a lot of feedback on this where some physicians said, "Hey, no, that's just going to push people to leave the legitimate physicians who actually follow this rule to run to these other people who really aren't following the rule." So I don't know about that. I'm not sure where that stands now, but what that tells me is that, number one, if you're looking at having a surgery such as this, that you really don't have to have, it's an elective surgery, you almost have to do even more research, because think about it. That anesthesiologist could have just gone ahead tired and not told me and not said anything. He could have done that. That's a good person who spoke up and said he was actually tired and couldn't do it. I'm thankful he said that. All right, let's go over to this article about Blac Chyna that was in People magazine. And again, there have been so many lawsuits, so many deaths surrounding this. It's actually good to hear uh, that she's decided that she's going to do something different. So this is the title here, and this is in People magazine. She is stating that this has changed her life. She's changing my life and my ways. And she's got these reduction processes that she is talking about in the article. She shared this journey with her fans, and you can see, she said she's embracing her natural self. She had the implants in her breast and butt removed. She shared a candid video from inside the doctor's office. You can actually go to her Instagram page and follow it there. And so she speaks to both of them there. She said, Yeah, we all kind of know what it is. She said, so I just want all the ladies out there to know, do not get silicone shots because they can get sick, because you can get sick, you can die, have complications, and all this crazy stuff. She said she first got the shots when she was 19 and has not experienced any negative side effects since then. But now I'm moving here in life, so I want this out of my rear so I can grow. I did a little bit of a Google research here just to see if we could get a little bit more information on what's going on with this. And you can see here, even just pulling it up and just seeing the listings here, lawsuit filed, malpractice risk, board takes action. This is the one that we just looked at. Little Shop of Horrors. BBL is the fastest growing cosmetic procedure in the world. And this is as of last year. Botched surgeries lead to medical negligence, compensation claims. You've got a whole UK firm here that's handling that. Woman sues Miami butt lift doctor after near death. This was 2018. Dangers here listed. This looks like it's coming from a law firm. Woman paralyzed. You don't hear as much about women being paralyzed after the surgery, but there you go. Associated mortality listed here. When is it considered malpractice? Miami doctors plastic surgery empire. And then you've got some advisories here. You've got another lawsuit here. Another one here. So it just goes on and on and on. Enough for anyone to realize that there's a lot of research that needs to be done around this. But again, I'm glad to see that Blac Chyna has made a change here and has decided to do something totally different. Actually, I want to go to her Instagram. Personally, I actually think she looks better without them. But let's scroll back down here to some of the old ones. And I think it was this part that sort of looked a little less natural here. Um, and she said she already had high cheekbones, but I think that was part of what she said she had removed, and you can sort of see it here and judge for yourself. And then I don't know if you can really tell. Well, I guess you can tell from the back down here. That's where you would be able to tell that. And so when you go back up here to the top like this, I don't know. So yeah, this just the more natural look. And you can see it does look like there's less here and here. And who knows, there might have been issues with it further down the road. I know she said she wasn't having any issues at this time. And I guess she said she's 34 now. I got to pull up my calculator. She said she's 34 now. And she had them in when she was 19. So that's 15 years. So, yeah, some of that's not supposed to last much longer than that anyway. I've seen other people talk about having things removed. So, yeah, but it's good to see that, maybe there's a new trend. We know there's a Ozempic trend or something like that, but maybe there's a totally new trend with what's going on in this area. So, if you get a chance, make sure you're always checking out the physicians that you are looking at to do this procedure. You can go to the medical licensing board in your state, do research on them, see if they have had complaints filed against them. You can check with the Better Business Bureau, but generally the medical licensing board is going to be the best place to go. And you can also check to see whether or not there have been any lawsuits filed against them. And if so, what was the outcome? So all of those things are helpful in trying to determine whether or not who you're looking at having the surgery done by is the person that you actually want to pay. All right, I hope that gives you a little bit more information about what's going on with this. Maybe some changes in the industry. Maybe things are finally changing. We'll see. But Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.